Mrs. Shannon Smith is truly a great educator. She personifies the Walnut Hill motto, to work for the best, to accept the best, to be the very best that one can be. She started off as a parent volunteer, then she became a substitute teacher, then a full-time teacher aide, and later a teacher. She has experienced success at each level, and truly, I indicate to the students and to the faculty that when you visit her classroom, it's like being in educational heaven. Lots of printed materials on the walls, lots of reading books, lots of colorful posters, charts, and other educational materials. She has a true articulation with the students. Her kids love her. As a matter of fact, year before last, her 7th graders petitioned me to move her to 8th grade because they loved her so much. She is firm, but she's fair. I truly, truly thank God for this great educator.
Originally, I started out in business, and I did that because it was what was familiar. My family career was business, real estate. So I went into that, but I was never really passionate about it. And I started to think about what are the things that I love doing, and it always involved children. It always involved, working with children, youth groups, Sunday school. And ultimately, it was my 2 daughters that I have in Caddo. They were my driving force. I would always tell them, go after your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. And one day it just resonated with me. Listen to your own advice. And deep in my heart, I've always wanted to be a teacher. So the next day, actually, I went to LSUS. I enrolled, started my classes, and started taking just a couple at a time, stuck with it, and it was the best decision that I ever made. I love working with kids. I love seeing their enthusiasm. I love seeing those light bulbs, go off when they get a new concept, and it's just what I love to do. It doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel like, you have to clock in and out. It's what I do when I'm here. When I leave, I'm looking at books, I'm on the computer, I'm looking at different strategies, lessons to teach. It's just, it feels like this is what I was meant to do. It's what I was meant to do. My daughters, Shatarian and Morgan, have always been my driving force. I've always wanted to be an example to them, and I've always wanted to let them know that nothing is impossible for them to achieve. And since birth, I have spoken that they will attend college, that they will graduate. And so one day, a light bulb went off and it said, be the example. Show them, that you can do it too. So I enrolled, I got back in college, and teaching was just a natural choice for me. Teaching was always what I loved to do. I always worked with children in youth groups, Sunday schools. But once I got into college, I found out that it wasn't as easy as it has always naturally come to me. One subject in particular, math, gave me the blues. I had to take summer classes. I had to get an outside tutor. And eventually, with hard work, I got through it, but it showed up again even in the praxis exam. The first time I took all of my other subjects, flew through them flying colors, and math gave me some trouble, and I had to repeat that praxis exam math 3 or 4 times. And those words that I spoke to my daughters came back to me. Are you going to let this beat you? Are you going to let this defeat you? And my answer was no. And so however many times I had to go back, that's what it was going to take. And eventually I passed. And that's what I wanted to bring to the classroom. I wanted to be the example of a teacher to say, look, I haven't always gotten it either. I haven't always gotten straight A's the first time, but you don't give up. You don't stop trying. You don't just take the easy road out. You keep working at it and you find a way to get it done. And I wanted to be that teacher who could make the light bulb come on for that kid who wasn't lazy, who wasn't just not focused or not trying. He just didn't get it. And it's my job to make sure that I don't end the day without making sure that I found a way to make my lessons relatable to every child. And some kids need more than, just instruction. Some kids need that one-on-one. They need you to pull them to the side and jerk their chain when it's necessary. And so I wanted to be a teacher because I wanted to be that extension. I wanted to be an example to say, here is a lady who didn't always have it easy. I didn't always, make the straight A's the first time, but I didn't give up. I kept trying, and eventually I accomplished my goals. So winning Teacher of the Year is just the icing on the cake for that. My kids were the first ones that I showed it to, my students, because I share that excitement with them because I want them to know teachers aren't perfect, but if we can do it, so can you, so don't stop trying. Being Caddo's Teacher of the Year means that all of the long nights that I took away from my children and all of the, hard days that I spent studying and, just working 12, 13 hours a day, taking 1 or 2 classes at a time when I could afford them, that it all had a purpose, that it all had a meaning. And the blessing is when I get to walk into the classroom each day and I get to take children who don't know the content and I get to present it to them in a fun and interesting and engaging way. That for me is my reward. Them giving me that hug at the end of the day saying, I enjoyed class today. I love coming to your class today. That is my reward. So on top of that, to be recognized as Caddo's Teacher of the Year, from your colleagues when there are so many other educators in Caddo who do awesome work every day. For, Caddo and my administration to feel that I stand out it's a real honor. I can't really even put it into words because, again, it doesn't feel like work to me when I show up each day. It's just what drives me. It motivates me when I see kids learning, and I want to continue to help them reach their goals. So being recognized as Caddo Teacher of the Year is just more than I could ever ask for.